1 year ago, Russia launched a full-scale war on Ukraine, and people here turned to the Outreach Foundation with one question: what can we do? Now, none of us could be physically present, but thanks be to God, He gave us a spirit of generosity. And through your generosity, the Outreach Foundation has collected and distributed over $1.7 million, resourcing the church in and around Ukraine so that the name of Jesus would be lifted high in this time of suffering. Our interest, though, was not simply to send funds or provide relief. The Outreach Foundation has always prioritized the miraculous ways God works through relationships, and in His providence, we had several trusted friendships already in place so that we could reliably direct funds that made an immediate difference. In Ukraine, your resources made a significant impact among the elderly, children, and women who otherwise would certainly have been trafficked, and families without homes or power. Because you stood in the gap, people discovered that God is present in hospitals, refugee centers, among those living in bombed-out villages, and for the military. Now, outside Ukraine, where God's people had little to give, your resources made it possible for them to show God's love through the provision of food, shelter, jobs, and giving people a new life. It's just like Dr. Ivan Rusin, president of Ukraine Evangelical Theological Seminary, told us during his visit to the U.S. When the war started, he said, all we had to give was ourselves, but thanks to you, we could give food, shelter, Bibles. We were able to show up to places that few others dared to go. And so he says, thank you. Even though we couldn't visit Ukraine this year, 3 times we went to the region, with a 4th planned in March of 2023. Our first visit came less than a month after the war broke out. Our executive director, Mark Mueller, trustee Bob Fuller, and I visited Poland. The fear there was palpable, and people were scrambling. Now, a year later, nearly 7 million refugees have fled Ukraine. 6 million people are internally displaced. Some of these have gone to neighboring Lithuania, where members of City Church were taking people into their homes, and they were able to start a hotel that gave refugees a home away from home. And all of that was made possible by your gifts. A relief bridge for hospitals and homeless shelters formed between Campus Crusade in Romania through a man we know as Benny and our friends of the Ukrainian Greek Catholic Church in Lviv. The College of Theology and Social Sciences housed over 50 refugee families and later developed Novus Center, a space for professional trauma counseling that serves Ukrainian children and women. Inside Ukraine, Raduga was hard at work. They have women and men who are focused on war-affected children. Thousands of these children are orphans and without homes. They host camps, keep education running. They provide food, clothing, and generators where needed most. And further east in Kiev, our friends from Ukraine Evangelical Theological Seminary suffered 6 missile attacks, yet they persisted. Roofs were rebuilt, windows replaced, and the relief work continued. The staff provides 1,500 hot meals to internally displaced people each week, and the military is served in various ways, including visits on the front lines and just behind those at forests. In an area where power is only available 8 to 10 hours a week, they were able to acquire 2 large generators that keep relief operations going, and the regular teaching program continues throughout Ukraine and even in Central Asia. This is miraculous. And we are deeply touched by stories of how the church has gone to places where no one else would go. Like what happened with Ivan Rusin. He went with a team just to help a paralyzed person evacuate. They provide power with small generators. They take medicine to the elderly. They give special glasses to special needs children and serve the military with prayers, communion, and friendship. The church has become a model for relief work done well to both businesses and politicians alike. And all this was possible because you gave generously to help our friends in and around Ukraine be the best of the church. As Associate Director for Mission, I've had a front seat watching the Lord bring so many people together to help the church stand in good favor of the eyes of people in Ukraine and the larger region. It's been an incredible year, and we are witnessing the single largest spiritual revival ever to occur there. Because you gave, Jesus is transforming that part of the world through the church. Now, the church there still needs us, and in many ways now more than before. This war is not close to being over. It was helpful to hear from Dr. Ivan Rusin about the heart of the matter. This war is about the destruction of an ethnic group and the reclaiming of Russia's glory, which was birthed in Kiev, Ukraine, centuries ago. So for the Russian Federation to reclaim that glory, a free and independent Ukraine cannot exist. That's what's at stake here. Ukrainians must either fight or die. 1 year into this war, so much has not changed, but certain things have changed. We know the church is doing well. We know for sure who can be trusted, and they are making a positive difference. At the Outreach Foundation, thank you. Your gifts have made all this possible. And as a gift to you, we've collected a set of thank yous from a few of our friends that I've been able to mention here. Please listen to them in their own words.
I want to thank the Outreach Foundation and our partners, such as First Presbyterian Church of San Antonio in Texas. All of this was possible thanks to your open hearts and financial support. Together we helped and continue helping in such a great way. Sława Bohu, and may God bless you.
Dear Outreach Ministry and Verdugo Ministry partners, thank you so much for your support. Your love gifts turned into humanitarian help for people in desperate circumstances, into care and education for children running away from the war or hiding in bomb shelters, into sharing God's love and trauma healing for internally displaced children. Щиро вам дякуємо.
Dear brothers and sisters, the Outreach Foundation, thank you for partnering with us in helping the women and children from Ukraine fleeing the war, partnering with us. God bless you. And I sincerely say Дякую from City Church in Lithuania.